What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another episode.
Yes.
What are we talking about today, Millie?
Well, yesterday we went to the movies and we saw Scary Movie 6. So today we're going to be chatting about Scary Movie 6.
How we felt about it.
Yeah, our thoughts and our kind of like review of the film.
So I mean, this was the sixth one. So how did you feel about how they kind of like went about the character integration and like the...
It was interesting. It was a mixture of like new characters, old characters, clearly trying to like continue the like I guess like the brand, I guess, so to speak, like kind of bringing in like new faces that we didn't recognize while still giving like a homage to the legends and, you know, very familiar
the
faces.
Yeah,
that we know and love and come to expect when we see like a scary movie.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, I think that they did a brilliant job bringing those people back and incorporating them, the Wayans bros. Just fantastic to see them back with the franchise.
I know, yeah, of course, that was a theme.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they definitely were like, I think that was arguably like one of the best parts of the film, like the fact that they were poking on so many like real world things.
Like, and actually being like talking about the movie as if it's not
a movie.
The movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like referencing it and everything. So that was pretty cool. And they had like the horror movie element where they literally made a parody of their own movie within the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. It was hysterical. There were a lot of layers to it, but you know, I think it's kind of the same because obviously it didn't do great in like the box office in terms of its review on Rotten Tomatoes and things like that.
Do you know what it got on Rotten Tomatoes?
I think it was like in the 20s or 30s or something like that. But I think it's kind of the typical group of people who gets offended by jokes. We know who they are. The doofy crowd.
That was hilarious.
That was so funny. If you haven't seen it, spoilers ahead. But as we dive into things, but yeah, that doofy scene was hysterical.
So funny.
But yeah, if you've seen the earlier Scary Movie franchises, they bring Doofy's character back,
who was notoriously the murderer, the killer in the
earlier movies. Or the first movie, whatever. And basically at one point they addressed that. They were like, Doofy, how did you get out of prison? Like, you were the killer, whatever. And he was just like, he got pardoned by the president for his part in January 6th because he was one of the insurrectionists.
And they showed the picture. Of him like photoshopped onto one of the guys.
Yeah, literally, that was so funny, hysterical,
real, so real.
Definitely. So I think it's probably that group of people who we see now getting very offended by jokes, not willing to take a joke, even though they were the crowd that was calling everybody snowflakes and saying that comedy's dead and all of that stuff. And now that is the group of people who is unwilling to like take a joke and have a laugh, which is just massively ironic. But I think they did a good job of touching on a lot of
I think so too. I think it was tasteful.
Yeah,
I think it wasn't like too overdone, I guess, or like overly offensive or anything like that. I thought it was
ice
like
one
very
made my
tasteful.
jaw drop though.
Which one?
When they did the ice reference, like when they came and picked up Oliver.
He said you're at home alone or something. She was like, no, the gardener and like the pool boy and I think she said one other person are all here. And then he said like, no, they're not. Look out the window. And they're all getting arrested by ICE.
That was crazy. And then she's like, no, they're the backbone of America's workforce.
Literally.
Which is just like, you know, obviously.
I think she also said, I'm too white to do those jobs.
That's how she ended.
Which is also literally
a reality.
Such like a true joke.
It's so true. And I think that people get offended because of the truth that is in the jokes. And also I think like, to your point, like they were tasteful. They could have made things much worse or much more in depth. But they really like touched on a lot of things that are happening in today's climate
100%.
Without leaving really anything off the board. I mean, they did like black people, they did trans people, I mean gay people, white people, but I mean every group of people.
I mean, there was the whole scene with the police brutality when they were picking up the guy with the little hand.
Yep.
And there was the black guy standing next to him at the bus stop or whatever. And immediately, and on the arrest warrant, it said very, very, very white.
Yeah. And they still went after the black guy and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that like, if you can't, look at society objectively and really like kind of poke fun at it and make fun of it, then comedy isn't the right place for you.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like, that there has to be a level of society in which we can not only analyze our society, but also make fun of the shortcomings in our society. And I think they did that. I think they touched on that really well.
They definitely did. Yeah. And that's just one element of the movie, because they also obviously did their typical scary movie parodies as well. Parody, so there was like
the slasher running.
There was that. What else? They did Smile.
They they referenced so many
different
in
scary
there.
movies.
What
was the one with the doll on the train?
Some
robot one.
Yeah, some like robot scary movie where just like the robot is supposed to like protect this little girl. And she's like crazy. So they did a lot of like really good references to other scary movies, I think.
They did.
Which is always just like funny to see, because again, I think with all forms of media, there are definitely things to make fun of. You know what I mean? Like nothing is 100% like perfect or,
and I also just feel like for people who don't like scary movies, this is a good way to like kind of see how they're made fun of, so it lightens them up a little bit as well, because I think that also adds to it for me, because I definitely get scared when I'm watching scary movies, because my brain is like, this could really happen. So like having them poke fun at those kind of situations and 100%.
It was really, really all good fun. Like the scene in the hospital and the guy with the ghost face was attacking the woman in the hospital. And there are people, the nurses were in the break room, but they were on break, so she's like yelling for help, and the nurses are like, don't you see we're on break? Like yelling at her, like saying that they're on break essentially, and she's just crawling on the ground. Like,
I know, just crawling, trying to fight for her life. And then eventually they did.
They did help.
What did Ghostface? He goes, breaks over.
Something
and then
like that.
Smacked him with a pan.
But even like those elements, like they're making fun of multiple things in those things, making fun of how in scary movies the protagonist falls on the ground and can't get up and is on the ground acting all dramatic when they could very easily stand up and keep running, but they just don't. Or fight back with an object where they just don't, but they're screaming for help. So like they were making fun of that element, but then they were also making fun of like the nurses on break, right? Like essentially, like even if someone's in a death situation, when they're on break, like those are like, that's comedy.
They're saving lives all day. Let them take their break.
Exactly. And I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I think there were funny elements throughout the film.
No, I did too. I thought there were a lot of funny elements, and I thought that like the way they also made fun of kind of what did they call it? I forget. They like mixed together the words of like a prequel and a sequel, or like something like that, and like talking about how they had to bring back the old characters to like incorporate the new characters, and it was all their kids and stuff, and so they were making fun of that element as well, of like bringing back a franchise but having to keep the elements of the old movies so that it also garners interest for people. So I really liked that element too, where they were 100%. Even just like poking fun at their own movies.
During the movie. Like you're talking like during the movie you're watching, they're making fun of the movie they're creating. Like you just don't see stuff like that anymore.
No.
That's just hysterical. Even like the preview we watched, the the trailer. The trailer for the movie was like, just go see the movie.
Yes, I know, because we always complain about this. It's like when you're watching a trailer for a movie, we've watched probably multiple over the last couple weeks, but it always just gives away the movie. We're like, okay, so there's a lot of drama, and then they get together at the end.
They tell us the
I don't
whole
really
plot.
Need to know the rest of it.
Facts. I don't need to go see it anymore.
So I definitely liked that element as well. And then what did you think about the end?
About the ending?
Yeah, like who the Ghostface was.
Could you remind me?
It was the Wayans brothers, and then Shaq and...
right. They just kept revealing them. That was actually hysterical. Yeah, that was the part where they were losing me a little bit because they kept revealing, and then it was just like a long talk scene. But yeah, they were losing me a little bit at that scene.
That's funny.
But it was so funny because they even joked about like Kevin Hart. They like referenced the fact that even Kevin turned down this role, even though Kevin Hart never turns down
anything. I'm so dead. So yeah, that was so funny. Yeah, and then like
stray bullets.
Yes, literally. And then the whole thing was like they were coming back as Ghostface because they were kept out of like the third and fourth films, I believe.
Yeah.
So they were like, it was like a revenge plot
exactly
for them. So like, yeah, they were taking out the two people who had kind of replaced them in the movies. They were using them as their partners, basically, as Ghostface.
Yeah.
And then they like took them out because they replaced them basically in those previous movies.
Yeah. So. Yeah, pretty funny. Yeah, so it was a good concept, and I think they touched on literally everything. Any and everything you can imagine in pop culture they touched on.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't many genres that allow you to do that, and for a comedy movie, there isn't any comedy out in theaters or out right now that does anything remotely similar to what they did in Scary Movie. Once again, kind of just being like a groundbreaking film, because of the fact that they were able to touch on so many things, still make it cohesive, bring in so many actors, so many big names, so many legends in comedy. Regina, I mean, every, it was just good. It was just good. I just don't understand like the rating. I don't understand the hate on it.
I know. I think it's because it's like that. I mean, you kind of have to know what you're going to the movies for. It's like that cheesy, funny, like...
Exactly.
But that's what the movie's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're rating the movie based on what it's supposed to be or what their vision is, then like...
Yeah, but
it was good. But if you're rating it based on what you want,
then yeah, you're never really going to get that. Yeah. But if you sat down in the theater expecting a good time with good energy, ready to laugh, you would have enjoyed the film.
Facts.
And that really is the key. Like, what is your own perception of the film you're seeing right now? And how are you going into it? If you're going into it and you're ready for the first offensive joke to ruin your day, then you're not going to enjoy the film, obviously. But if you're going into it like, all right, this is going to be funny and I'm not going to be offended by stuff, you're probably going to enjoy your 90 minutes.
Yeah, it was good. It was funny. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah. I mean, we both said afterwards that we'll have to watch it again whenever it comes out just to get all the references.
Yeah, like I'm even trying to remember. It's like they did so much that I literally can't remember.
So many. Yeah. Literally everything, and made fun of the other movies. Like, I mean, it was good. Yeah, I got to re-see that for sure. Whenever it like comes out of theaters and drops,
definitely.
Like, I love to rewatch it and get some thorough laughs from it.
I agree.
And I would say, like, compared to the other Scary Movies, this one really brought full laughs across the board, across the 90 minutes. Like there are moments in the other movies where it's like, maybe a little cringe, a little hard to watch in certain moments, but this one really like kept going.
Because I feel like they played on the cringe. I feel like they like forcefully made it cringy to poke fun at the cringe.
Yeah, definitely.
I felt like.
Yeah. So yeah, I would see it.
I would recommend it.
So those were our thoughts on Scary Movie 6, which we saw in theaters. If you haven't, we do recommend it.
Definitely. Yeah. So if you made it this far,
thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.